Good morning, Notre Dame fans. This is blueandgold.com recruiting insider Mike Singer live on YouTube. As I record this right now, it is Wednesday, September 22nd, and it's 8:52 a.m. This is setting a record for the earliest morning live stream. Heck, I don't even think I've ever done a live stream in the morning. So I am solo here this morning. My coworkers couldn't find them for a live stream this morning. They were nowhere to be found. I think Patrick Engel is getting his car fixed or something, and Tyler Horka called in sick this morning. So just yours truly. So the announcement that is coming up today is from this young man on the screen, and he is Sedrick Irvin Jr. And we will go through a handful of different items when it comes to him. His announcement is coming up at 9 a.m., and we will bring you that announcement. He is announcing on his Instagram page, so we will have that stream for you. Appreciate you guys, whether you're with us live now. I honestly had no idea how big of a group we would have at, again, 9 a.m. Eastern time. But hey, I'm already pleased. We got 69 nice people with us right now. And I'm sure that number is already getting bigger. So appreciate you guys. So first, you guys are probably wondering, well, who the heck is Cedric Irvin? So let's pull up his rivals page here. 5'10", 183 pounds from Miami Gulliver Prep. Michael says we are Notre Dame junkies. Yes. Appreciate that. Don saying on the man. David, what's going on? Appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. So Irvin, 5'10", 183 pounds from Miami Gulliver Prep. Now, South Florida, you look at Miami-Dade, Broward counties, don't have like a ton of profile fits for Notre Dame when it comes to schools down there. Like there's not, at least to my knowledge, and I'm from the Sunshine State, a lot of, like profile fits for Notre Dame, those high academic schools down there. But it this is definitely one of them. Gulliver Prep, very strong school. So 5.9 rivals rating, which is that mid-level 4-star ranking. They're 5.8 to low 4-star. 5.9 is a mid, 6.0 high 4-star, and of course a 6.1 is a 5-star. Why that is the scale for rivals, I don't know, but it's been like that since I was in elementary school. So it kind of is what it is. Number 81 overall player in the country. Number 4 running back in America. Now, I do want to say that, there's also the all-purpose back distinction. So, if you lump them together, he might not be the number 4 overall running back when you include an all-purpose back. Just want to throw that out there when it comes to the rivals ranking. Same thing with pro style and dual threat quarterbacks, kind of the same thing. And then the number 14 player from the loaded state of Florida. Appreciate you guys joining us. Asim says his dad was a baller at Michigan State. Yep, we will get to that. Good morning, Evan, Mark. Yes, it is way too early. Heck, it's early for me here on the East Coast. So good morning, Mark. So yeah, Cedric Irvin Jr. Want to pull up some of his stats here. Let me get this on my screen so I can read it to you guys, because very productive football player at the high school level. He's off to a strong start as a junior. He's rushed 50 times for 275 yards and 2 scores, added 3 receptions for 38 yards. In 19 career games, 186 carries for 1,256 yards and 18 touchdowns. So again, highly productive player. Now, wanted to just bear with me, guys, for a second as I switch scenes here. James, good morning. Appreciate you guys joining. So I want to kind of go through his recruitment. Now, here's a hint for you guys. It all goes down in the Twitter media. So like where these kids post pictures, if you want like a recap of where these guys, I'm gonna ban somebody who's trolling me in the stupid comments. The timeline of the recruitment. How about a first offer coming from Penn State, November 13th, 2019. He would have been a freshman in high school at the time. So certainly credit to Penn State for getting in there early. Miami, the local school. Now it's interesting. He's actually from the state of Maryland. He's not, a born and bred Miami kid. So you don't even see Miami listed in his Final Four schools. It's Michigan State. It's Notre Dame. It's Oregon. It's Stanford. Ole Miss is offered him. Look at Duke. Now we're into 2020. Nebraska, Florida International, Oregon, one of those finalists in there. Tennessee, Florida State. He actually visited Florida State earlier this month when the Seminoles hosted Notre Dame. Cincinnati, West Virginia, and there is Pops. His dad is Cedric Irvin Jr., who was a baller at Michigan State back in the late 90s. Top 5 player in both career rushing yardage and touchdowns. And there's the Notre Dame offer, November 3rd of 2020. I remember that offer like it was yesterday. It was Clemson week for Notre Dame. It was just a huge deal. And John McNulty and Lance Taylor, Irish tight ends coach and running backs coach respectively, were offering 2023 kids while they were still working on the 2021 class. And I was like befuddled. And I was like, there's no way that those kids from South Florida would be going to Notre Dame. But it was Cedric Irvin and then Jaylen Brown, who's another top 100 player from Irvin's same high school. I was like, there's no way Notre Dame's going to get either of those kids. Lo and behold, both visited Notre Dame in June. And here we are doing a live stream about this young man, Irvin, potentially picking Notre Dame. Pretty, crazy when you think about it. South Carolina offered Jacksonville State with Deion Sanders. How about UNLV? Michigan offers. Now we're into 2021. UConn, real powerhouse football school. Kidding. Let's take a look at his dunk here. He gets up too. That's a nice slam. There you go. UCF, former non-national champions, Mississippi State, Notre Dame contacted him on the Pot of Gold day. Alabama, Arizona State, Stanford. So you look at the offer list there. So we're going to go ahead and go to his live stream. So just bear with me 1 second, guys, as I pull up the stream. And we will get his decision live here in just a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second, but of course, a busy night leading to a busy day here at HQ. Starting in college football, some news in that direction. When it comes to college football playoff expansion, has apparently hit a snag. The CFP Management Committee will meet today in Dallas to try and come up with the recommended path forward. However, Dennis Dow reports that next week's meeting of the board's managers in Chicago, where a formal vote on expansion was supposed to take place, might not happen at all. In the NFL, where today's practice will be key for Indianapolis Colts quarterback Carson Wentz, who was dealing with 2 sprained ankles. Wentz suffered the injury in Sunday's loss to the Rams and was spotted at the team facility in a walking booth and getting around on a scooter earlier on in the week. The Colts are also an 0-2 start, and they'll face their division rivals in the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. Meanwhile, Broncos linebacker Bradley Chubb will have surgery today to remove a bone spur in his ankle. Chubb missed Denver's season opener because of that ankle, then aggravated that injury again in week 2 with the win over the Jags. He's expected to miss about 8 weeks dealing with that. And in the NBA, the Philadelphia 76ers opened training camp on Tuesday, but apparently Ben Simmons won't be there. ESPN reports that the 25-year-old not only won't report to camp, but won't play unless he's traded to another team. The standoff between the Sixers and Simmons has reportedly been festering for months, and it's been weeks since there's been any direct contact between the two sides there. Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. We have a commitment announcement announcement happening in just a few minutes. Four-star running back Sedrick Irvin Jr. to make his commitment live on CBS Sports HQ.
All right, Cedric, stand by. Right, what you said.
In Stanford, Michigan State, and Oregon. 5'10", 185-pound back plays for a strong high school program at Gulliver Prep in Miami. Has shown promise at receiving as well out of the backfield. 24/7 Sports recruiting analyst Andrew Hunt.
All right, Cedric, you're next. Stand by.
In the 2023 class, number 8 running back, according to the 24/7 Sports composite. Dad was a stud running back from Michigan State in the late 90s as well, so no surprise there that the Spartans are
All right, guys, here we go. Stand by.
And with that, we say good morning to Cedric Irvin Jr., who's surrounded by his family here on CBS Sports HQ, down I-95 here in South Florida. Cedric, I want to ask you one quick question, too, before you get to your announcement in just a bit. What's the last 24 hours been like for you?
It's been kind of crazy, especially ever since I announced that I'd be committing today. But at the same time, it's been good just receiving all the support from all the people that love, people that care about me. So what's the next?
What excites you the most about being able to play at the next level?
The thing that excites me the most about being able to play at the next level is just getting the opportunity to play at a level above that. That's always been a dream of mine ever since I was little. And then also all the experience that comes with being a college football player.
How do you describe your game to people that ask you what your football game is like on the field?
I would consider myself an all-around back. I think I have a great vision as a working ability to get north and south. The ability to break tackles, make movements, and catch up back.
Who do you have with you today?
Today I'm here with my dad, Cedric Irvin, my mom, Hope Irvin, and my younger brother, Amari Irvin.
All right, so they're all in attendance. Why don't you type for just a second there, and Cedric, we'll have your announcement coming up here on CBS Sports HQ in just a minute. Again, taking a look at the 2023 prospect profile for the.
All right, Cedric, hang on.
You guys know if he were to commit, I will have the coverage there for that. So, where are we at in the show here? You guys know live streams always fun, always good commercial breaks here. So let's talk a little bit more about the bloodlines. So we talked about his dad. Over 3,000 career rushing yards at Michigan State. In top 5 in both rushing yardage and touchdowns in his career for the Spartans. But how about this? He's related, I believe it's uncle, I'm not 100% sure of the exact relation to Michael Irvin, but he is related to the former Dallas Cowboys superstar wide receiver, also related to Tim Irvin, who was a receiver at Auburn before transferring to, I believe he finished career at Delta State. So, when you look at him at the running back position, for Notre Dame fans, I think he's a little bit of a mix of like Jadarian Price in kind of that do-it-all nature. And then some of his cuts remind me of Chris Tyree. Just really no wasted movement. He doesn't have the speed of Tyree, but the thing I love about Tyree is just the one cut, get up field. He does not really mess around. He will plant his foot in the ground and does not have any wasted movement. Again, that's my favorite thing about Tyree. I see a lot of that in Irvin as well. So watch this. This is sophomore tape here. Again, highly productive player, good running back, good size, good bloodlines. Got a comment saying it looks like Maurice Jones-Drew. I mean, that dude was just a straight bowling ball. But I kind of like the comparison, just as, an all-around player. So watch the tape. See where we're at with the stream. Still look like it's at commercial break over on CBS Sports HQ. Number 14 there. Pass, yeah, good receiver. See him on the screen. breaks out a tackle, and pretty strong ball in Miami that he's playing. It's, the private school football is a high level in the state of Florida. Florida has, I believe it's 8 classifications, and he's playing in, I think, 3A, but it's strong in Florida. A handful of talented programs down there. Let's see where we are at. So the 4 finalists, you have Michigan State, where his father played, Notre Dame, Stanford, Oregon. So let's see the announcement.
We start considering schools like Notre Dame, Stanford, Michigan.
Cedric Irvin Jr.
Around back, but he just told us right here, Gulliver Prep, a powerhouse down in Miami. All right, we're just a couple seconds away here, Cedric. Why don't you make the announcement here in the entire country? Where have you chosen to go to college?
Okay, first off, I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. It's a great honor to have all this support. Next, I'd like to thank my coaches and my teammates, especially Coach Sedrick for taking me here. It's allowed me to become a part of the family. I'd also like to give a shout out to everyone back home in Maryland. I know you guys are watching, and it's just great to know that from where I came from, everyone's still supporting me. Next, I'd like to thank my trainer, Nick. He's been with me the whole way through since 6th grade, and he's the reason why I'm one of the players that I am today. I'd like to thank my Uncle Terrence and Uncle Shannon, just being able to take me to practice and always supporting me even when I did move. And then lastly, I'd like to thank my parents, always being there for me, and I wouldn't be here without them. And I'd also like to thank my little brother, knowing that he's following in my footsteps, and he pushed me every part of the way. And with that being said, I'll be taking my talents to Notre Dame.
So there you have it, guys. There is the commitment of Cedric Irvin Jr., 4-star player, committed to Notre Dame. That is 5 commitments in Notre Dame's class. Adon Schuler, a 4-star safety. Brandon Vernon, 4-star defensive end. Keon Keeley, 4-star defensive end. Cooper Flanagan, 4-star tight end. Pretty strong start. Pretty strong start to the 2023 class. I think Notre Dame fans got to be really excited. Sedrick Irvin Sr. made the move from South Florida to the Midwest when he chose Michigan State. And there you go. There's a similar move. Sedrick Irvin Jr. is headed to Notre Dame. So make sure you go to blueandgold.com for all of the coverage of this decision. We'll have all of the content that you need on there. You guys just bear with me one second. Oh, man, got so many things going on at once. Producing these shows is a lot harder than it looks, I promise. Let's pull up the commitment graphic there. There it is, guys. Notre Dame recruiting stays hot with the addition of Sedrick Irvin Jr. Spoke to him a few days ago about his commitment to the Fighting Irish. I wanted to pull up that story for you guys. It's right here at blueandgold.com. Asked him about his commitment. He said it's always been one of my favorite schools. Getting a chance to visit up there, visit the staff, meet Coach Kelly, Coach Taylor, meet people myself with recruiting guys like me to be a part of the brotherhood.
Yo, sir, I stopped.
they can recruit. The combination of the tradition in both academics and football is unmatched, says Mr. Irvin. Says they obviously have a great tradition on the offensive line. There's no running back that wouldn't want to run behind those guys. Now, mention that Irvin visited Florida State 2 days afterwards is when he told Notre Dame that he would commit to the Fighting Irish. What he saw on that visit, hey, it was enough for him. So Irvin, again, informed Kelly and Taylor a couple days after that Florida State visit to see Notre Dame. Said the relationship with Coach Taylor is great. Even before I went there in June to meet him, knew he was a great guy. I can see myself learning from him, and he takes his job very seriously. He's there for his players. Another interesting thing here, his father, Cedrick Irvin Jr., played for Nick Saban at Michigan State. Head coach at that time, Nick Saban. So then Irvin Sr. is a intern on Alabama staff in 2008. Guess it was also on that staff, Lance Taylor, Notre Dame's running backs coach. So really interesting connection there. That I think only helped Notre Dame in the recruitment. Again, Notre Dame offered him really early, as I've mentioned a couple times. Irvin says, after they offered me, they're one of the schools that recruited me the hardest. It was them, Michigan State, and Stanford. I've always wanted to get out of Florida for college. I grew up in Maryland. Notre Dame has it all for me. He also said that Coach Reese was showing me how he uses his running backs to the best of their ability. Feel like I can do it all. I can run in between the tackles. I can line up at receiver. I feel that I can fit in that offense. So, guys, that is the commitment. Sedrick Irvin Jr. is headed to Notre Dame. Full coverage is at blueandgold.com. We will have some more YouTube content throughout the week. Our Wapu Wednesday series, previewing Notre Dame, Wisconsin with a Badgers writer. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Appreciate you guys watching live with us and bearing with me as these streams always bring some kind of fun. So make sure to go to blueandgold.com for all coverage of this commitment and Notre Dame versus Wisconsin. Appreciate you guys. And as always, we will catch you next time.